And welcome back to part 11. We're now in the Shippuden era of What If the Uzumaki Lives in the Leaf. This is due to the fact that, honestly, without Orochimaru around, because that was the thing, Minato lived, so he took care of Orochimaru, a lot of problems get taken care of before they even happen. So there was no invasion or anything like that. There's no need to go out and look for Tsunade. So yeah, we moved all the way into Shippuden. Now, really quick, let's just address a couple things. Someone brought up why I didn't give Sasuke the rank of Chunin. Well, first off, it doesn't really matter. He ends up getting Jonin anyway during the time skip, so it all evens out. But I mean, to be fair, it's not Sarutobi or Tsunade or any of the other people in the same general area or general timeline judging. I mean, it's probably a different crew of people judging. I just don't think, because unlike a lot of the other characters, he hasn't demonstrated much outside of what he demonstrated in the original series. He would, be judged for the merits of on the merits of Chunin. But again, it doesn't really matter because he makes Jonin anyway. So, one of my viewers always does this when I bring up the Sakura Hinata issue. And look, dude, I get it. First off, no one forced you to say it, and you brought it up anyway. Explain the issue of why they don't like Hinata with Naruto versus the whole issue with Sakura. And I don't normally do something like this, but I am gonna. That's not true. I sometimes do it. I am gonna find the comment. I'm not gonna read it verbatim because it is like a 2-page paragraph long comment, so I'm not gonna read the whole thing. But I will paraphrase what they basically said. Excuse me. All right. So where is that comment? That comment is right here. Saying, I don't want to talk about Hinata versus Sakura. I really don't. I've done it before on the channel, but you started. Technically I did, but you don't have to say anything, dude. Hinata, well, she is nice, quiet, in love, and in her entire series. Her self-worth seems to be entirely dependent on the main character. She truly is the perfect male adolescent fantasy. She even has a bad home life that the male can rescue her from, as is seen in many fan fictions. And then to be fair, they go into a long spiel about Sakura. One of the things they do say is even the so-called abuse was understandable half the time. Naruto performing sexy jutsu in the middle of the street, I think it's worth a hit on him, at least by anime logic. That already debunks the first part of your argument against Hinata, because now you threw anime logic into Sakura. So you had to throw at least some anime logic into Hinata. Like that, you can't have that both ways, or you can't have it one way or the other. It's got to be both ways or no ways. But real quick, just to address that, I don't agree with the male adolescent fantasy. Yes, that could be a fantasy, sure. And sure, she didn't have the best home life, but Naruto didn't rescue her from her home life. She got older, fell in love, and made the choice to marry him and leave the home life. And look, that may be me speculating a little bit. And you as seen in many forms of fanfiction, you can't use fanfiction either because fanfiction isn't canon to the story. So that's literally people making up stuff. So you can't do that either. I get it. If you don't like Hinata, it's fine. But the argument doesn't work in that regards, because you're throwing out stuff. You're either giving one character leeway when you're not giving the other character leeway, or you're throwing out arguments that aren't valid. As for, now, is her self-worth dependent on Naruto in the series? To some degree, 100. Well, okay, that didn't make any sense. 100% to some degree. To a certain degree, yes. Obviously, she got a lot of encouragement from him. But at the same time, there are scenes we see in the series, not a lot, mind you, because they don't have a lot of interactions, where she actually encourages him. The scene where she encourages him before his fight with Neji. Look, that's not him emboldening her. That's her helping him. That doesn't happen a lot, and we see a bit more of it in the Naruto last movie. To be fair, that entire movie was, hey, let's basically set up the pairing of Naruto and Hinata. I get that. Still a good movie, I think. The arguments don't really. Your argument against Hinata doesn't really. in my opinion, hold water. But I know you're not the only one who doesn't like Hinata, so I get that completely. I do. I liked Hinata. I think, but to call her just an adolescent male fantasy is like, there's plenty of people who are actually like that, who are quiet, meek, but nice, kind, but shy, and can't tell the person how they actually feel. And a lot of times, those people, that doesn't work out in real life. Here, obviously, Kishimoto. Kishimoto played up the idea that it did work out. And it does sometimes work out. But I don't know. I saw the comment and I'm like, oh, God. Like, dude, I get it. We are in different sides of this debate. I get it. Just because I bring it up, though, doesn't mean you have to respond. Because, yeah, it's in part 10. You can find this person and what they said. They wrote like not a true thesis, but a good couple paragraphs worth of like an answer. Anyway, I digress. I've gone off almost 6 minutes and haven't even gotten into the story. So we are now into the Shippuden era. You know, Team 7, as well as Neji, I think at this point still makes the Joni rank. We know Tamari did, Kankuro did, and Garra still becomes Kazekage. Actually, would Garra become Kazekage? I said that, and I realized, wait, his dad's still alive. Actually, no, his dad, in 3 years, maybe he could have thrown it over to Garra, but no, actually, his dad probably still sticks around. In fact, his dad's probably a much better ruler now that Garra's easy to handle, a lot more friendly. People actually, I think, like Garra now. They can't just forget all the things he kind of did and who he was. But over 3 years, Garra has been able to establish himself as a good person overall. Now, the Akatsuki. This is a big thing we need to address. Now, I may mention that the Akatsuki lineup probably is very similar, assuming they exist, to what it was, with some differences. There is no Nagato. There might not be a Konan. There could be a Konan, but there isn't. There was never an Orochimaru. So, first up, do the Akatsuki actually exist? Yes, I think so, but not in the form they originally took. The Akatsuki were never like the villainous organization they actually were. Well, okay. They didn't start out that way. They were actually initially formed by Nagato, Konan, and Yahiko. It's just that it was eventually taken over after Yahiko died. Obito basically came disguised as Madara and offered a deal about the whole idea about collecting the tail beast, all that, but they had to, gather individuals. And eventually they did. They gathered Mission Nin. Originally, they were more like a ragtag group rebelling against Hanzo, the Black Salamander. So, you could still, in theory, get the Konan Yahiko situation. There might even be a third random member who ends up dying anyway. Obito probably still has Obito does have the Rinnegan available. The thing is, we know he can only handle the one Rinnegan. He even said so himself, that he could really only handle one Rinnegan. Would he try to implant it in anyone? Yahiko, Konan? Actually, you know what? Honestly, I could see him implanting it in Konan. Because Konan definitely was the big sister to mother figure, although she definitely had feelings for at least one of them. I can't remember if she had it for Yahiko or she had it for Nagato. But I could see her losing someone she seriously cared about, just like Nagato did, and activating the Rinnegan then and there. I could see, weird to say, I could actually see Konan, and this is where the fanficky part of these series comes in, I could see Konan being the Rinnegan bearer here. Add on to her ability to use paper, let's call it paper release. Weird technique, but it's paper release. Add her ability to use paper release, and you have a very effed up version of Pain here. And she, in this version, is Pain. Now, granted, she still does what Nagato did. She still has Yahiko's body, and she has all those other bodies. She still has those paths. And to be fair, too, there's no reason they can't be men. Because Nagato even used a female ninja, I think is one of the animal paths at one point. So, yeah, there's no reason she can't just do the same here. Maybe, like, the main body she uses, apart from Yahiko, is like a woman. And it probably would be a no-name. But yeah, so she would still be technically the leader of Akatsuki. Obito would be running things from the shadows, obviously. You would still probably have Kisame and Itachi, Kakuzu and Hidan, Sasori and Dedra, but that leaves one other. There were 9 members, if I'm not mistaken. 9 members of the Akatsuki. And Zetsu, I forgot Zetsu. Actually, now I say all this out loud, because the individuals involved in the Akatsuki actually wouldn't be any different, except for the fact that they'd be one short. That's right, they would be one short. Now, obviously, and maybe that's where Obito steps in, being Toby. Maybe that's it. So you would still get Dedra and Sasori going after Garra. The difference here is twofold. A, Garra is very well adjusted at this point. And he has as much control over his sand as he ever did, maybe even a little bit more. But B, the fourth Kazekage, his dad, he's still alive and manipulates gold dust. Them combined together, I think so. When Dedra obviously comes in, the Kazekage actually, steps up. And, Sasori didn't get involved the first time. I think this time, Sasori may feel he has to get involved. The problem is they'd be taking on an entire village. And they know this might not be a good route to go about. So I think the whole obtaining the One Tails actually has to go a bit differently. They have to be a bit more covert and somehow draw Garra out. So what I think they would do is Dedra, you do some pot shots with some smaller explosives, test the walls of the Sand Village. Garra or Kazekage would send Garra out to see what the problem is. That would lure him out, and then the attack would happen. Except Sasori, I think, would also be involved because they know that the third could show up, or I keep saying third, the fourth could show up at any moment. Now, I think a lot of this goes the same. Garra was actually beating up Dedra, was winning that fight for a good portion of that fight up until much later, where, Dedra was, he was a bit more crafty, and that's how he won. But if you actually watch that fight, Garra was very much holding his own and actually had the upper hand a lot in that fight up until the little the little dirty play from Dedra. So, and Sasori, although trying, obviously his needles can't really do anything against sand. Likewise, I think eventually it's going to lead to other ninja coming out as they see Garra struggling, including Tamari and Kankuro, and then eventually the fourth would show up. And they realized this was not a good method of doing this. Crap. We need to go. Only for gold dust to swirl around. It's like, you won't be going anywhere. You won't be going anywhere, Sasori. Lord Fourth, is it? It's so good to see you. Now you're not. I see your Jinshin is just as good as ever. Not as effective as your predecessor, obviously, but still very impressive indeed. It's like, come on, man. Sasori, man, we can take these guys on. We're outmaneuvered. We must retreat. It's like I said, you won't be going anywhere. And Garra and him both have him up in sand and gold combined. And they're about to use sand on the gold coffin. And they crush them, only for it to be revealed that they explode and they were clones, clay clones. Dedra, the hidden stone, master of the explosion release. Dangerous individual indeed. Just think, Garra, unfortunately, Garra, I cannot get there after you. I cannot allow you to go out of the village unsupervised, let alone at all. It's like, and Garra argues with his dad a little bit, but ultimately he realizes, like, yeah, they're after me. They're after the Shikaku. I can't at least be alone. I was struggling with both of them. There's a good chance they could have beaten me. So, they reinforced the city, all that. And then obviously the fourth goes to Chio. That explains that your grandson's still alive. He came by and said, "Oh, so my lovely grandson came to visit after all, and didn't even hi. How disappointing." And so, it's like, we need to be prepared just in case, and you know more about him than anyone. After all, you are the one who taught him. It's like, yes, I taught him. But what does it matter now? And so word gets out to the Leaf that, the sandwich was attacked, but Garra was not taken. And so, and they know that the Deidara and Sasori, they'll be back. They're just going to try to be a bit more covert about it next time. So they do send out a relief team of 7, Sasuke, Sakura, Naruto, and Kakashi. Or a relief team of 8, an 8 team, or backup. Anyway, so they go out, and they eventually get to the sand, and, the third welcome, I keep saying the third, the fourth welcomes them, and they, they're walking through, and eventually they meet Chia. I was like, this is Chia. She knows more about Sasori than anyone. As her grandmother, the White Fang. And it's like, wait, I'm not the White Fang. And it's like, oh, sorry, I was just kidding. Tee. Okay. But they go into, what's going on, how this could happen. And as they're there, once again, they hear the explosions are back. This time, though, they're in the village. Like, it's coming from inside the village. Blast it all. Damn that dead. Garra, stay here. Stay here unless absolutely necessary. And then he goes, and he confronts Deidara, and him and Deidara are clashing. Him and Deidara are trying to clash, but then Sasori comes in, and, he blocks with Gold Dust once again. Yeah, by the way, I don't know any other jutsu the guy had except Gold Dust, so I'll maybe make some things up, like Golden Lance Jutsu, and then, firing golden spikes at Sasori. But then it reveals that he himself is a giant puppet. And, he's clashing. All the while, Deidara is now sneaking. He's like, now, where are you, One Tails? Only for the bird he's flying on to get its wing sliced on. It's like, what? It's like, whoa! What's that? How the hell did that happen? Yeah. As far as I know, the One Tails can't use wind release. Well, the One Tails can use wind release, but the kid can't. What the hell is that? And then all of a sudden, he sees Naruto, who at this point probably wears an outfit similar to what happened after his Sage training. So Hinata and did I say Sakura by the way? I meant Hinata. Hinata and Sasuke stared at Kakashi. I'm afraid you're not going to be going in there. So they sent out for reinforcements. Those little punks. Come on, can't we just talk this out? I mean, we're reasonable individuals. I just want the One Tails. I mean, I'm not even the one going after the Nine Tails here. I don't even know where the Nine Tails is. Can't we all just get along? No? Didn't think so. Boo! And all of a sudden, like a couple dozen spiders or winged birds or whatever come out and they fly. It's like, and Naruto's like, wind style, great breakthrough! Sasuke! On it. And, he's like, lightning style, Chidori Senbon, as, he fires it from the sword he now carries. All of a sudden, it hits one of the birds, only for it to spike out and hit a bunch of the other birds. Hinata comes in, hits the others, like, this isn't good. I was not expecting this. And all of a sudden, Garra's sand comes up and grabs Deidara. Were you expecting that as well? It's like, crap. And meanwhile, go, aid my father. I'll stay here with him. Not so fast. Hinata, stay with him. You'll be able to use you can be able to tell where if he's doing anything based on his chakra. Yes. And Hinata's got her Byakugan going on, making sure he's not trying anything. Meanwhile, the third, I keep saying the fourth, 1, 2, 5, 3, 3. The first, second, and first, second, third, and third. Fourth Kazekage. He's actually now struggling because Sasori, at this point, brought out his giant army of puppets that once conquered a country. Chio even steps in and has stepped in at this point. They're duking it out, but Sasori is overwhelming them. Sasuke and Kakashi can both see chakra, though, so they can see the strings. Naruto can't see it, but he basically gets told that Naruto, aim right in front of his hands. Right in front of the hands. Like, got it. And then Naruto basically just concentrates chakra, just wind style, wind blade. And then finally, and the puppets go. No. Relief village. How unfortunate. I guess I'll just have to kill you all then. As just the blaze starts spinning, the wires there. It's like, well, this is irritating. Naruto just gets his Rasengan ready. Yeah, Sasuke gets his Chidori ready. And, Kakashi's got his Sharingan ready. And they're just, they're ready to go. And it's like, I hope you're ready. And then he just comes flying in. And he's moving at lightning fast speed. Chia's got to get out of the way. The third's got to get out. I keep saying the third game, but the fourth's got to get out of the way. Why do you keep thinking he's the third? I think it's just a habit with like the third Hokage. I think that's the problem because he's the only third we've actually ever had. Because the Tsuchikage, if I'm not mistaken, is only the second Tsuchikage. Actually, he's the third Tsuchikage as well. I know the Raikage is the fourth. Third Raikage. There's actually a couple thirds. I keep saying that. Anyway, he comes in. The fourth gets out of the way. He starts, Buzzsaw. He does the compressed water that actually rips through the gold and injures the fourth. Actually, pretty severe. It doesn't kill him, but it's a pretty bad injury. It's like, Lord Fourth! And, Chia grabs him some chakra strings. It's like, you'll be next, Granny. All of a sudden, poof, he gets hit with his blade suddenly gets stopped with a Rasengan from Naruto. He's got a Tornado Fist ready. It's like, is that the best you can do? Tornado Fist! Then blast him back. But he's like, I'm not flesh and blood anymore, boys. Is that the best you can really do? As all of a sudden, Kakashi comes in. As him and Kakashi comes in, trying to aim for his actual, flesh part. That's still part the organic part of him. I see, Kakashi at the Sharingan. You make an excellent puppet. In addition to my collection, I have never had a Sharingan user before. But in that eye of yours allows you to see the weak point of me, isn't it? Oh, unfortunately, I can't. As he sees a hand right through him, an arm chakra blade of electricity, just as Sasuke is there, it's like he's not the only one with a Sharingan here. Damn it all! It seems I was unable to beat you after all. And he just explains, this, and that, and dies. Meanwhile, they go back to those. Thor Fourth is being, dragged and getting medical attention. And it's like, now, what? You killed my man, Sasori? What do we do with him, Father? Bring him in for interrogation. And it's like, yeah, you think I'm gonna let that happen? The minute you let me out of here, I'm just gonna blow things up. There's no way you're gonna be able to stop me and say, hold on. And then Naruto just comes up and says, man, you talk a lot. And all of a sudden, Naruto just boom. It's like, you can let him go now, Garra. Wait, are you sure? Yep, no, it's all good. It's like, got you. And just throws the clay. And like, what? And just boom. Would you stop doing that? It's really embarrassing. What's going on? And Naruto just points at his head. It's like, chakra seal. Yeah, you're not going to be able to use any chakra until that's removed. How? That's seal, but it's to seal all my chakra. There's no way you could do a seal like that. You have to be an Uzumaki. Yeah, Naruto Uzumaki. Pleasure to meet you. No, it's all right. You can put it back in the sand because he's not going to go quietly. All right, right. You bastard! I'll get you for this, you little blood bitch! Says the blood. And then to which Naruto just says, "This coming from the blonde bitch being dragged into interrogation later." It's like, yeah. So I can totally see Naruto throwing shade right back at him. So yeah, there is no guard retrieval arc because guards never had to be retrieved. Let's see, at the 23-minute mark, we can go through very quickly the Hidan Kakuzu thing. So the Hidan Kakuzu thing, that actually still happens down to Pat. I think Azuma's still killed. They need help, and so Kakashi goes. Team 7 joins with them, and I think they would ultimately put down Kakuzu and Hidan with little issue. So really what's ultimately going to happen here is we're going to fast forward now to the Itachi Sasuke arc. Anyway, until then, that's where we're going to leave off. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I don't think we'll finish it this week. I think besides this episode, I got at least another 3 in me for this series, but we might be able to get it done in 2. But most likely 3. So not the following week, but the week after that is when a new Naruto What If will start. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks for the next one. Like, comment, share, subscribe.